Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Nourish by Claudia channel. I am so excited today because I'm here with Jody. Jody, she has been a wonderful woman that joined the Period Comeback Protocol at the end of last year because she was suffering from amenorrhea. And here we are talking about her natural periods coming back, her a monthly period, and also the fact that she managed to get back into her exercise routine. But without further ado, let me welcome Jody. Hi, Jody. How are you today?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you.
Beautiful. So, first of all, Jody, can you tell us how you lost your period in first place? What happened last year that put you in a place where you didn't have regular cycles anymore?
Yeah, so I was taking the contraceptive pill for years and years, probably on and off. Not just the pill, actually, other forms of contraception from the age of 16. I'm 34 now. And then I decided to have a break from that, just give my body a break. I didn't need any contraception anymore, so I decided to give my body a break. I think it was sort of 18 months ago. And then that's when I started to realize that my periods never came back. I went to the doctors and they was just basically kept on saying, come back, give it more time, you need to give it 6 to 9 months. And then 6 to 9 months came and they were saying you need to give it a bit longer than that. Well, 18 months went by and I still hadn't had a period. So I just, again, went back to the doctors and they started doing lots of blood tests, which all came back normal, as they say. And I think it was just a few visits back later that my doctor eventually asked me if I'd heard of hypothalamic amenorrhea. I said no, and he thinks that's the only thing that he could put it down to after ruling out everything else with the blood test. So obviously I did a bit of research on that, and just came to a bit of a standstill really in terms of what to do and how to regain my period. Obviously I knew it wasn't healthy to not have one. But I wasn't underweight, I wasn't under eating. I absolutely love food. It's like a passion of mine just to go out and, eating and drinking with my friends on weekends. So I wasn't consciously trying to lose weight or under eating. In fact, I was probably eating a lot more than normal people especially on the weekend. So I think I came across Claudia's Facebook group and then just looked into, I think I requested to join the group. And then through that, Claudia got in touch actually to just ask me a few questions about my experience and then invited me to watch a free masterclass. And then through that, I found that actually a girl that I went to school with had suffered from the same thing. And obviously, we'd lost touch over the years. I would say, we're not friends, but it wasn't in my social circle still. So I was just amazed. Claudia's the other side of the world to us, and she's got in touch with and helped someone that I went to school with. So I got in touch with that person, and we had a chat about Claudia and the help that she gave my friend, and she highly recommended. So that's when I obviously got in touch and started the protocol.
I'm getting goosebumps all over, and I'm getting a little bit teary as well at this moment because it was
Yeah.
such a beautiful moment of connection. The fact that you saw someone that you went from high school with, you actually got in touch, you talk about the whole situation, and she was also very helpful at that time. And the funny thing is that she sent me a message this morning just asking me about a few things, and she asked me about you in passing as well. And I said, well, we're about to jump on a live. So everything is coming back, like closing the circle beautifully. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing, Jody. Please remind me if I'm wrong. You also got to a point where you had quite a helpful doctor that mentioned RED-S back at that
Yeah.
time when you didn't have a period. Is that correct?
Yes, that's the term he originally gave me when everything else had been ruled out and I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, and I think that you have been very lucky in that regard because most doctors they don't even know what red S mean, which is basically an energy deficit caused by women overtraining, mostly women and men. Can you tell us more about the kind of routine that you had at that time? Because you mentioned the food wasn't the issue. You loved your food, you loved your weekends, just going out and eat whatever you wanted to. But tell us more about your workout routine.
Yeah, so because I was conscious of the fact that I did eat loads on the weekend and, just really let myself go and enjoy myself, I would say Monday to Friday, I was very strict on exercise. I would be sort of getting up in the morning, say 6 o'clock, I'd walk 30 minutes to the gym. I'd do a 30-minute spin class, and then on top of that, an hour's weight session. And then I'd walk back home 30 minutes. So that in total is 2.5 hours exercise already. And then I'd go out for another walk in the afternoon, just because I work from home, 30 minutes to an hour, just to have a lunchtime walk and get some more steps and exercise in. So that was my routine Monday to Friday. I also play hockey, so I was doing that on top of gym sometimes as well. And as you can probably tell, that's a lot of exercise, and I was probably overdoing it to the point where I wasn't actually fueling my body enough Monday to Friday to balance the exercise that I was actually putting my body through. And even though I was eating more on weekends, that wasn't making up for what I was doing during the week, Monday to Friday.
Mm. And one question, so were you suffering from low energy back at that time? Did you have any symptoms that are normally correlated with hypothalamic amenorrhea?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have to drag myself out of bed and drag myself to the gym. I picked up injuries very easily,
Mm.
especially playing hockey. Um, and I would stretch fine before and after a workout. But I think, I was just putting that much pressure on my body. I wasn't giving it any time to heal. I wasn't listening to my body. So when I was in pain with muscles aching or like I did tear a hamstring at one point, I just continue the exercise and just push my body and not listen to it properly. So yeah, I definitely was suffering, I would say.
Yeah, you are pushing through the pain, and even though you're
Yeah.
feeling low in energy, you're still kept going. Were you underweight at that point in time?
No, I've never been underweight. I've always had a healthy BMI as BMI goes. I was probably at my lowest weight I've ever been, but it still wasn't by any means underweight.
And I really would like to underline that because so many women, they don't think that HA is the correct diagnosis because they are in normal quotation mark bodies, because what is normal nowadays? But it's really important to actually say it out loud. You can be suffering from hypothalamic amenorrhea and RED-S, even though you're not in a small, tiny frame, that it's normally what's pictured in the media. So thank you so much for sharing, shedding the light on that one. And now you have watched the webinar, you have decided to join the period comeback protocol. What happened during the recovery journey? How did your life change?
So obviously the initial thing was to obviously eat a bit more during the week to fuel the exercise I was doing. I was also consciously trying to gradually reduce the amount of exercise I was doing. So um, maybe I'd cut out my afternoon walk. Maybe in the gym, I would lower my weights, made sure my heart rate wasn't going above 100 beats per minute. And then eventually I was lowering the days that I was doing in the gym. So I'd go from 5 to 4, 4 to 3. And that went on for 4 months.
Mm.
I got down to 3 days in the week, 3 days exercise in the gym, and that was just weights. Then at that point, I cut out all cardio. And then I went on holiday for a week, and obviously rested my body that whole time. I did a bit of walking, but yeah, it's hard to get away from that when you're on holiday and you're exploring. And then when I came back, I decided to go all in. So I just thought, I don't want to prolong this journey anymore. I just want to get my body back to what it should be. And I need to do everything I possibly can to do that. And that I was just fed up with waiting, really. And it had only been 3-4 months. It's not a long time. I'm aware that some people wait a lot longer to get their period. But yeah, I just decided at that point that enough was enough. I didn't want to waste any more time. So I went all in. And after I went all in, 2 weeks later, I got a period.
Yeah. And I think that your body was already primed to get the period back because you had cut down on exercising, you had increased your food intake, and plus you also had been on a holiday, so your stress response was really low at that point in time. So in 2
Yeah.
weeks, you got your first period back, and there was lots of excitement around it. What did you do on the second month, in the second month of recovery after you got your first period back? Did you go back to exercising or did you still decide to keep it very slow in the beginning?
I didn't change a thing. I continued to, all I was doing was walking and yoga. And I'd sort of alternate those two things, meditating, just really chilling out and relaxing my body to make sure that my second period came. I stopped weighing on the scales. I stopped counting calories. I stopped really worrying about what my body was looking like, and just really letting it do what it needed to do to get my second period. And it came, like clockwork, and yeah, very normal and healthy period.
And how did you feel during that process? Because for some women listening, they may think, oh my goodness, it's the most difficult thing ever to stop exercising and to really listening to my body and letting it doing its own things. How did you experience that?
Yeah. So looking back, if I could have, I would have probably went all in straight away as soon as I found out, but I couldn't. It was too hard.
Mm.
I was to doing all this exercise Monday to Friday. I still wanted to live the life I led on weekends. So I felt like I needed to move my body at least a little bit I was terrified of putting on weight, basically. That was my main fear. It's really hard to accept just putting on weight. Nobody wants to put on weight. I'd got to a point where I was really happy in my body, in terms of the way I looked. Like I said earlier, I was at my lowest weight. Not that that was a goal of mine, but I just felt like really good. And so it was hard to accept having to put on weight. So yeah, it was really difficult, to gradually, obviously, decrease the exercise and increase the food intake and not feel like I was burning any of that energy. Um, it was hard, obviously, to my clothes not to fit as well. Feel like I had nothing to wear. I know the obvious advice is go and buy bigger clothes, but I really didn't want to buy a bigger size. But one thing I did learn during that period is period, not yeah, during that
During
time
that time.
was, just because the clothes size is bigger doesn't mean so you wouldn't be able to tell then that was a bigger size. It actually fitted me better, which meant I looked better. The size on the clothes doesn't really mean a thing at all.
They absolutely don't matter. And you also mentioned before that you felt great in your smaller body, let's say, but you are also getting injured very frequently. You are kind of obsessed when it comes to training and you had very low energy. So even though physically speaking, you thought that you look great, you are not feeling at your best because, and not to mention, you didn't have a menstrual cycle as well.
Exactly. So, yeah, one thing I've learned is my body wasn't meant to be like that, or I wasn't meant to look like that. That's not natural for me. That's not how my body works, looking like that. And funny enough, I look back at photos now from that time, and I actually wince a little bit. I feel like I don't look like me. So I've definitely like got used to how I look now, and learned to accept that this is how I look healthy.
It's such a beautiful realization, Jodie. And now I know that lots of women are afraid of not being able to go back to the gym, not being able to go back to doing the things that they love after finally getting the period back. There is lots of fear around it. And you actually mentioned it, for while you were waiting for your second period, the only thing that you did was just sticking to the recovery process, yoga and walking. What happened then? When did you feel the craving in terms of stepping back into the gym?
Yeah, I think after my second period, we worked quite closely to talk about how to reintroduce exercise. And I think we went to 2 days a week, still no cardio. And that was just strength training, maybe 45 minutes, 40 minutes. Again, low weights, 2 days a week. And then I'd get a third period, and that was healthy and normal and on time. And then we'd up it to 3 days, 4 days, and then, so on and so forth. The more periods I got, the more we reintroduced, adding in some cardio as well. But one thing I was doing, I still do now, that I didn't do before, is fuel before the gym. So like I said, I gym in the morning, so it's really difficult to eat before at 6 o'clock in the morning before a workout. But even if it's half a banana with a teaspoon of peanut butter, it's just something that I'd eat on my walk to the gym, just to give me and my body that, bit of fuel and just something to go off, really. So yeah, I'd say after, so 3 periods is when I started to properly focus on an exercise routine and get back to where I was. And I'm at the point now where, so I think I've had maybe 6 or 7 periods now, and I'm fully back to my normal exercise routine. Not as obviously intense as it was, but I'm back to the gym 5 days a week. I'm back playing hockey. I'm just making sure that I listen to my body when when I feel like I've overdone it. I'll go for a walk instead of going to the gym and going to play hockey. I'll do yoga instead, or I'll just have the day off. Like I said, I'll fuel before the gym. I'll fuel straight after. Before, I was leaving it a few hours after the gym to have breakfast or eat something. Now I'll do that straight away, just to replenish my body and just make sure I'm consistently eating and just listening to my body.
Wow, I love how you said it quite a few times in this live, that you are really listening to what your body needs. And it's one of the most difficult things to do for us nowadays, because we are always pulled in different directions by all the messages that we receive throughout the day. And the reality is that it's all about coming back to, okay, what do I need? Am I thirsty? Am I hungry? Do I need a rest? Do I need a sleep? Can I move?
Yeah.
And that's what you have been doing. And I know that when you're in the thick of the recovery journey, it seems never ending. But realistically speaking, it took you a couple of months to get your period back, 3 months to get your exercise routine back on track. And now you're exactly where you were in terms of the exercise, where you were last year at this time, but with completely different knowledge and regular periods. How is your energy right now?
Yeah, really good. I was only saying to my friends in the gym this morning, actually, I feel absolutely great now when I'm working out. I feel like I've got loads of energy and then I could keep going, but obviously I don't. Yeah, I do feel really energized. I've got loads of energy. I've started getting my body back down to, I've started to lose some of the weight that I obviously had to put on for period recovery. I know I've obviously accepted I'll never get back down to the low weight that I was, because that's not how my body was meant to be. But I'm at a place now where I'm not looking at, it's not just about the scales. It's just about how I feel in myself, how my clothes fit, and yeah, I just feel strong and just healthy.
And out of curiosity, did you go back to tracking calories, or that's something that you're not interested in any longer?
It's something I won't be interested in long term, but currently, only because I'm going on holiday next week, I am tracking calories. I'm on like a 4 or 5 week plan, but the calories that I'm eating now, I eat so much now compared to what I was. And I'm just making sure that, yeah, that I'm eating enough during the week and the weekends just to counterbalance the exercise that I'm doing. But I've never eaten so much, and I'm still losing the weight that I gained. And yes, like I said, I've got all the energy, even like hair growth, things like that. I've noticed my hair grows so quickly now. It's got so much thicker, so much healthier, and it doesn't fall out. I was washing my hair before, and they used to fall out in clumps. That doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, just healthier in so many ways.
I was actually wanted to make a comment about your hair when you joined the call this morning because they look so long and so lush.
Yeah.
And they're very different from the first time that I met you, which is another fantastic sign. Jody, thank you so much for sharing your story, for your honesty. For all the women that are gonna listen to this also on replay, is there anything that you would like to say that you wish that someone maybe could have told you 1 year ago when you were going through hypothalamic amenorrhea and all of that?
Yeah, so obviously there were times where it was really hard, and the biggest thing that was hardest for me is accepting putting on weight, as I've mentioned.
Mm.
But where I am now, I can look back and I would like to say to myself, it's not forever. It's just temporary. You just need to get your body back to a place where it's healthy and functioning again. And then, you can get back to being a healthy, normal weight and feel great. I've never felt as good, actually, even when I was at my lowest weight. I just feel strong as well as healthy. So yeah, I would say just persevere. It's not forever. It's just a short-term thing, and as soon as your body gets back to how it is, then you'll feel great again.
Enough said. That's such a beautiful way to finish this conversation. Thank you so much for being here, Jody, once again. And we will see you back on the Recovery from HA support group. Thank you for being here. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.